The following is a paid program and does not necessarily reflect the views of WSIC.
Hello, hello, all, and welcome to the L Show, where the L stands for leaning in, which means we will not shy away from any subject, no matter how taboo or uncomfortable. Things like menopause, sex and libido, menopause, dry vagina, hot flashes, mental health and depression, which makes you not want to have sex, how we look, and how we feel. I'm your host, Dr. Nicole Eastman, and I'm the owner of Rose Pharmacy and Boutique Apothecary located here in beautiful Cornelius. We are a compounding pharmacy with a focus on functional medicine and a much more natural approach to your health. And for those who are not familiar with what compounding is where your pharmacist makes medications that are formulated in a specific dose and or a specific dosage form that is unique to you. And not all compounds or compounding facilities are alike, and quality shows in every aspect of what we do. And if you are taking too many medications, too many supplements, or both, come and see us. Take advantage of our consultation services where we can help you safely solve that issue. And it is still the month of love. Why not support it by coming in and grabbing a bottle of a very popular supplement that we have at Rose Pharmacy called Libido Health? This is a supplement that's for both men and women and is designed to address those factors that may contribute to sexual dysfunction, such as your energy level, hormone balance, circulation, and nervous system function. All of these are needed to help potentiate your sexual response. Call or come into the store and let us know that you heard about it on WSSE News, and we will give you 10% off through the rest of the month. And of course, with Rose, there's a guarantee of what is in every bottle, and very few companies can offer you that. You can find out more about us by checking us out on our website at roserxboutique.com or Instagram and Facebook at Rose Pharmacy and Boutique Apothecary. And the information presented on this show does not take the place of advice from your healthcare provider and may not be suitable for all audiences. Happy Friday to everyone. I hope you all are doing well. I wanted to make a quick announcement at the beginning that along with WSSE News and the Chamber of Commerce, Rose Pharmacy, we are having a blood drive on March the 20th from 10 to 4 in the Chamber of Commerce parking lot. We'll give you more details as the time goes along, but just think about donating the gift of life on March the 20th, 10 to 4 at the Chamber of Commerce. So have you guys ever heard of the phrase top shelf drugs? Bill, have you? No?
Only in college for a brief moment of time.
Yeah. So, but I was thinking of things like top shelf margarita, right? Because that's typically
That's more my speed
right?
nowadays.
Exactly.
Yes.
Well, there is this thing that we're hearing about. It's called top shelf drugs. And I came across this article on CNN.com. It was written by this physician by the name of Jody Duche. She's an endocrinologist and a professor at the Harvard Medical School. And for those of you who don't know what an endocrinologist is basically a physician that specializes in the endocrine system. They evaluate diabetes, like hormonal issues, bone loss, reproductive organs, all of that. So she is an endocrinologist that also specializes in medical weight loss management. So the article was titled, Opinion. I see patients every day who need Ozempic and can't get it. So she has mentioned this top shelf medications phrase. And what she's referring to is Ozempic. Now, I'm going to add to that Mounjaro, but for this article, she was speaking specifically of Ozempic because that is what her experience was. And basically saying that it's just not available to everyone who needs it. And I've mentioned Ozempic and Mounjaro on this show a number of times, and it is still the number one inquiry that I get at my store. People will call and say, do you have it? Or do you have a certain dose? And unfortunately, I don't have the pins, but I get that question so much. And it's also, and the funny thing for me is that it's not really younger people who are asking about it. It's the people who are Medicare aged. So it's the older people who are eligible for Medicare. So first, what is Ozempic? It's brand named semaglutide that is approved by the FDA to lower your blood sugar in adults with type 2 diabetes, in addition to diet and exercise. And it's also approved to reduce the risk of heart attack, stroke, or death in adults with type 2 diabetes and known heart disease. And the way that it works is it basically helps your body produce more insulin, which means that you can lower your blood sugar. And it also interacts with parts of the brain that reduce appetite and signal a feeling of fullness. Those drugs are classified as GLP-1, so I'll just refer to them as GLPs going forward, okay? Well, so she talked about treating this patient last year who weighed over 300 pounds, a BMI greater than 50, and there's some flaws in that calculation with a BMI, but either way, the patient had high blood pressure, high cholesterol, sleep apnea, depression, and modestly elevated blood sugar. So she wasn't a diabetic, she was a pre-diabetic. And for this patient, she knew that the best tools to help this woman survive were those GLPs. And we know that all of the metabolic issues that are occurring and the mental health issues, more often than not, show improvement when people are placed on these medications. And she was able to prescribe it off label. So when we say off label, we mean that it's being prescribed for something that it's not FDA indicated for. So she was prescribing it off label for this client for weight loss, and the patient didn't have diabetes, pre-diabetic, but the insurance covered it. So the patient lost 45 pounds in 10 months, blood pressure improved, cholesterol improved, blood glucose improved, activity levels were better than they had been in years, less hungry, especially at night, and she was sleeping better. Well, this year, unfortunately, Medicare changed and is not going to cover it off label. They will not cover any medication that is prescribed for weight loss, okay? Unfortunately, because of all of the off-label prescribing that has been going on, insurers have tightened up on the requirements, making it difficult for even the patients with diabetes to get them, just how long it takes to get what we call the prior authorizations and whatnot. So, the patient, what can they do at this point, right? This is a situation where I'm not always for off-label prescribing, but this patient could potentially die without this medication. I'll say this, and we'll go into it more on another one of my monologues at the beginning. But for the price of these medications, more people would have access to it. More people would be able to have the benefit of the life-saving outcomes that we're seeing with these drugs. But with the price and insurance companies not being able to afford to cover, it's just unfortunate. Again, a major question that I get, but we'll continue this discussion on another show going forward. So if you or your healthcare provider has been looking for a quality compounding pharmacy in the Lake Norman area, look no more. Rose Pharmacy is the place for you. And if you're taking too many medication, supplements, or both, make sure that you take advantage of our consultation services. We can help you solve that issue. Month of Love, we still have our Libido Health Supplement. Call in to the store. Let us know you heard about us on WSIC News, and we will give you 10% off through the rest of the month. Have you ever thought about how to rule your sexuality no matter what situation you may be in? Hormonal imbalance leading to mental, emotional, and physical challenges? When we come back, I have with me again Dorothy Diana, who is my resident expert at getting your sexy back. See you on the other side of the break. I'll soon.
Have your say.
Trusting the government to fix anything is a joke.
Be a part of the conversation.
We can't even trust the banks with our money.
This is WSIC News Talk Now.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. MuralFest is back, April 25th through the 28th at Wilkes Community College, featuring nearly 100 performers, including Old Crow Medicine Show, Turnpike Troubadours, the Teskey Brothers, Nickel Creek, and more. Tickets and information at muralfest.org. Listen each morning to Good Morning LKN for your chance to win tickets. Downtown Mooresville's Shamrocks and Shenanigans is on its way. St. Patty's Day is right around the corner. The festival is happening in downtown Mooresville. Attendance is free, but there are ticket packages available for purchase. Irish dancers, pipe bands, food and drinks. March 16th, downtown Mooresville. Shamrocks and Shenanigans is on its way. For more info, visit downtownmooresville.com. Want to attend the Charlotte Home and Remodeling Show? Throughout the day, you have your chance to win tickets. Listen to Good Morning LKN, the Home Ad Show, the News Drive at 5, and the Scoreboard. Each gives you your chance to win. The Charlotte Home and Remodeling Show, February 23rd through the 25th. Want to see a Tyrannosaurus Rex? How about a Triceratops? Dinosaur World Live is coming to Kane Center for the Arts Friday, March 29th. That's not the only fun family adventure coming to Kane Center for the Arts. Dinosaur World Live, Friday, March 29th. For tickets and to see the entire spring lineup, visit canearts.org. That's CAINarts.org. Have an event you would like to tell people about? Yard sales, estate sales, and everything in between? Visit WSICnews.com and click on events to submit your event today.
Breaking news, expert analysis, and the stories that matter most, all in one place.
I totally acknowledge seeing flames is a scary situation.
WSIC News Talk Now.
Hello, all, and welcome back to the Elle Show. I'm your host, Dr. Nicole Eastman. If you or your healthcare provider has been looking for a quality compounding pharmacy in the Lake Norman area, look no more. Rose Pharmacy is the place for you. Quality shows in every aspect of what we do. Too many medications, too many supplements, or both. Make sure you take advantage of our consultation services where we can help you safely work on solving that issue. And it is the month of love. Why not support it by coming in and grabbing a bottle of our very popular supplement that we have at Rose Pharmacy called Libido Health? This is a supplement that is for both men and women and is designed to address those factors that may contribute to sexual dysfunction, such as energy, hormones, circulation, and nervous system function. All of these are needed to help potentiate your sexual response. Call or come to the store and let us know that you heard about us on WSIC News, and we will give you 10% off through the remainder of the month. And of course, with Rose, there is a guarantee of what is in each and every bottle. Very few companies can offer you that. And remember that you can call into the studio at 844-STUDIO-4, or you can interact with us on social media with your comments and questions. Last week, we talked with Dorothy Diana about the duality of sex and intimacy. We talked about body image and so much more. So this week, we are continuing that discussion as we wrap up our month of love. Just a reminder, she has a Master's of Science in Nursing. She is a sexual health and wellness educator. She has a post-master's certificate in sexual health and is a certified S-Factor teacher, 25-plus year yogi, and a 20-plus year intuitive exotic dance/pole practitioner. Welcome back again this week, Dorothy. How are you?
I'm great. I'm so happy to be here again. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to drag you back in. We had so much fun last week, and I know our listeners want more of you.
Oh, good.
Okay. So where we left off, I just want to tell me, what do you think, women, we're going through all of these issues, right? Our hormones and all of that, and we have all of these mental things as a result of hormonal imbalance and being exhausted and all of these things, being busy. What do you think, from your perspective, you are the expert, okay? Feeling desirable, like, what helps us? What do you think helps us to feel more desirable?
That's such a good question. So first of all, I want to say that women, the feminine, needs to feel desirable. The feminine needs to be seen, heard, valued, and appreciated. It's essential. And so what we're seeing is a rash of, in popular culture, and the young women looking for this validation, looking to be seen and heard and appreciated in a very superficial way on social media with what they think is feminine, and I'm not saying we can't do this. I love hair, makeup, and jewelry, but what we're seeing,
we all love it, yes.
And I think it's lovely. But what I am seeing is too much of an emphasis on how does it look? What do they think of me? just desperate to be seen, to really be seen. And what brings true happiness and authentic femininity comes from the inside. So a very authentic expression of your feminine, and that may not look like what social media and culture says. So to truly feel desirable is an inside job, and it starts with, which it's so much easier if it was just something you could buy, right? It really starts with a woman knowing what her heart is saying and being in touch with her feelings. So if I want to feel really good in my body and really happy in my life, what does that look like for Dorothy? And I know it looks like candles in my home. It looks like music, a very good network of sister support women friends that really like me and see me. I can be authentic and messy and cry every day if I want to, and take a sudden trip somewhere and they'll go with me. I mean, whatever it means to you. So a supportive sisterhood of women that really see you, believe in your dreams, support you. So being desirable, feeling desirable is really about desiring yourself, knowing who you are.
So it's not about like you're not putting the responsibility on the partner. We're talking about self, right?
Yeah.
It's self-care.
So it's very easy. And I would say a vast percentage of we women are codependent. And so what we would naturally do, and that's a strong statement, and I can back it up. That's not the topic today, but what we tend to do is put the responsibility for our feeling happy, our feeling fulfilled, our feeling entertained, our feeling beautiful on another person, whether it's friends or a partner. And that will absolutely dissolve chemistry and polarity in a masculine-feminine relationship. It is an inside job. So when, as a woman, I know what feels really good to me in my heart, how I'm feeling in my emotions, any given point, and what turns me on and what makes me feel beautiful. And today it might be a white silk blouse and a big necklace, and tomorrow it might be a leather jacket, and it might be cozy pajamas. But to really get in tune with who I am as a woman and what I need at any given moment for emotional support and to feel beautiful, and then for the masculine partner to be able to reflect what he sees, I think is kind of, if you're entering relationship, that is becomes a little important. And there is a way a woman can communicate that kind of thing to her man, that he can really hear it and do that. But frequently women don't communicate it in a way that a man wants to hear it. That's another component.
Is that a whole nother show? Communication?
I think so, because she might say, you never make me feel desirable. You never do this. Well, men can't hear that. They're going to turn away. That feels like criticism. But there's a way she can say, wow, when you said you loved that blue dress on me, I felt so happy in my heart. I felt so beautiful. And I actually felt really turned on. I love it when you notice what I'm wearing. And I'm telling you, a healthy man will step up and start doing that more and more, right?
Yes.
Kind of lovely.
So we talk about the masculine and feminine. So women, we are working, we're shot callers, ballers, or whatever you want to call it, while we're doing our thing out, and we are in our masculine. So when we come home, though, how do we switch from the masculine to the feminine?
That's such a good question. And I'll tell you, that's something. So the women I work with, a lot of them are career women and in relationships. Many of them have gone through divorce and are now examining their lives. And that's one component, and saying, what did I do? And I will say a lot of we women are a little bit too much. What did I do? So some of the healing is, all right, take responsibility for what's yours. However, that is huge. Because most women I know, when they're really getting real with what they want and need, want to draw in a strong masculine man. Most of the women I know really want that in their lives. And so in order to sustain a relationship with a masculine man and have polarity and chemistry, we have to be the feminine. Somebody has to be one or the other. So, if you switch it, that's great. But I'm mostly speaking to women who desire to be in their feminine. So you're at work, you're getting things done. Anytime we are in a goal-oriented, task-accomplishing, hyper-focused, getting from point A to point B, competing, doing things for rewards, these are signs we're in our masculine, and that uses testosterone. So, and we have a limited supply. If you're born XX and things go, quote, normally in development, we have a limited supply of testosterone to draw on. And testosterone is what gets things done in a linear fashion, period.
Yeah.
Argue with me if you want. It does. We have limited supplies. So when we drain it, we go to our adrenals. And a lot of women, as you know, are suffering from adrenal fatigue. And one of the reasons is too much in their masculine, not enough support, exhausted, overwhelmed, and unable to get back in touch with the beautiful part of them that's receptive, opening, receiving support, feeling soft and beautiful, able to relax and be at ease, able to be messy, able to go not from point A to point B, but all over the place when we're shopping. Or so I won't get into that too much, what it means to be masculine, feminine energy, but that's the basics. And how do we get back in touch? So what I encourage is as soon as you get in your car, on the way home, there's music that you love, not a podcast that's about your work and how to make more money, but something super nurturing, something, you can call it brain candy, something that relaxes you, music, something that evokes emotions, and maybe even have something pretty hanging from your mirror. Like I have a beautiful purple sparkly necklace hanging from my mirror, maybe a soft seat in your car. When you walk in your home, I recommend immediately changing clothes into something soft and sensual that makes your body feel good, undressing from the masculine, putting on the feminine, lighting some candles, again, music, and give yourself the feminine transition time, whether it's a hot bath, journaling, taking a walk, give yourself time to transition. And before you maybe interact with kids or with your partner. So it's really about feeding yourself and having permission to be at ease. And I also really encourage women to have support. If you need a housekeeper, if you need to trade services with female friends, I have friends that trade massages for money, coaching, all kinds of things.
Really? Okay.
Support, support, support. This whole myth of the superwoman is completely a lie, and it's kind of killing women, physically. So as you probably know, adrenal fatigue can cause organ damage.
Absolutely. Yes. And
aging, we age. Yeah.
Exactly. A lot of people who come to the stores, a lot of my clients, that is the adrenal fatigue is massive. And it's because it's the go, 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 go. You cannot sink back to get back to being who you are, because it's this, your body is now, it's a habit. It's like
a habit, and there's an inner critic we need to work with. There's a lot of inner healing to be done, and part of what I do with women, I do coaching as well as the movement, because it's a whole package. So we have this inner critic that usually is our mother's voice, but it doesn't have to be. It can be a teacher's, which is always pointing out all the things we haven't done or that we could do better, the ways we could be thinner and prettier.
Oh, I know that's just social media. We'll talk about that. We'll continue to keep on talking about this when we get back from break. If you are taking too many medication, supplements, or both, make sure that you take advantage of our consultation services. We can help you safely work on solving that issue. If you or your healthcare provider is looking for a quality compounding pharmacy in the Lake Norman area, Rose Pharmacy is the place for you. And do not forget that we are still in the month of love, and we have that very popular supplement called Libido Health. Supplement for both men and women designed to help address those factors that support your libido. We still have a few segments to go, and we will be right back after the break with my girl, Dorothy Diana. See you on the other side.
We'll be back with more of The Elle Show and Dr. Nicole Eastman after this short break on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Well, a bit of a damp start to our Friday. Most of our rain is over through the morning commute, but a shower could linger even into the middle of the day or early afternoon. We're still comfortable with low to mid 60s for this afternoon. Chilly weekend on the way, though. Extra clouds, a sprinkle, or even an isolated shower, mostly staying in the 40s for our Saturday. Much better, though, with sunshine in mid-50s to round out the weekend on Sunday. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Does your business provide coffee for employees or customers? Black Powder Coffee can supply you with fresh roasted coffee, a variety of daily signature blends including flavored coffees such as cinnamon roll and Kahlua and cream. We even have bourbon-infused coffee in collaboration with Southern Distilling Company. Visit blackpowdercoffee.com or stop by and see us at 261 Rolling Hill Road in Mooresville. Black Powder Coffee.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed? Because no two people sleep the same. Only the Sleep Number smart bed lets you each choose your individual firmness and comfort, your Sleep Number setting. The Climate 360 smart bed is so smart, it actively cools or warms up to 13 degrees on either side for your ideal sleep temperature. And now, during the final days of our President's Day sale, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed, plus 10% off all bases. Ends Monday. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Oh, this cold.
Honey?
Honey?
Honey, you need DayQuil Severe Honey.
DayQuil Severe Honey gives you powerful cold and flu symptom relief with a honeylicious taste, because life doesn't stop for a cold.
Okay, I'm ready to go.
No, I'm getting a cold.
Honey.
Try DayQuil Severe Honey for powerful cold and flu relief. DayQuil Severe with honey flavor. The daytime coughing, aching, stuffy head, fever, honeylicious, power through your day medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Prioritizing your health is one of the best ways to take care of yourself. From routine visits to the joys of pregnancy to the illnesses that stop you in your tracks, Iredell Health System will be by your side. Learn more at iredellhealth.org.
Hi, this is Joshua Dobie. Join me Thursdays at 4 p.m. for Dollars and Cents, a show that focuses on your personal financial journey and the markets around us. That's Dollars and Cents, Thursday afternoons at 4, here on WSIC.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. A second chance for GM's troubled auto taxi unit. After one of its driverless taxis hit and dragged a pedestrian in San Francisco in October, GM's Cruise, the self-driving auto unit, lost its license to operate in California. Now it's looking to restart operations, but this time in Texas, in Houston, and Dallas very shortly. A slight earnings miss from Warner Brothers Discovery last quarter. That's because of a drop in advertising sales and fewer new shows and new movies because of those twin strikes last year in Hollywood. That's got shares right now down about 9%. Elsewhere on Wall Street, stocks lost a lot of earlier steam. Right now they're mixed, mostly a little bit higher following that huge rally yesterday. The Dow is up about 0.1%. The Nasdaq down by the same amount. The S&P 500 barely budging. And it's a wonder why pump prices are so high. U.S. oil drillers expected to export a record amount of oil this year. Tom Busby, Bloomberg Radio.
Breaking the silence and shattering the stereotypes surrounding women aging. It's The Elle Show with Dr. Nicole Eastman on WSIC.
Hello all. Welcome back. I am your host, Dr. Nicole Eastman. If you or your healthcare provider has been looking for a quality compounding pharmacy in the Lake Norman area, look no more. Rose Pharmacy is the place for you. And if you're taking too many medications, supplements, or both, make sure that you take advantage of our consultation services where we can help you safely solve that issue. And it's the month of love, so why not support it by coming in and grabbing a bottle of a very popular supplement that we have at Rose Pharmacy called Libido Health. This is a supplement that's for both men and women and is designed to address those factors that may contribute to sexual dysfunction, such as your energy levels, hormone balance, circulation, and nervous system function. All of these are needed to help potentiate your sexual response. Call or come into the store. Let us know you heard about Libido Health Supplement on WSIC News, and we're going to give you 10% off throughout the remainder of the month. And of course, with Rose, there's a guarantee of what is in each and every bottle. Very few companies can offer you that. And remember that you can call into the studio at 844-STUDIO-4, or you can interact with us on social media with your comments and questions. So speaking of questions, we got a call in just a minute ago concerning something that is been found in Cheerios, and it is called chlormequat. Now, I want to be upfront that I have not read the article. This is something apparently that's linked to infertility. The caller was concerned about it shrinking the testicles, and I think another concern I would think would be decreased testosterone production. And in a future show, next show, I will make sure to research this a little more thoroughly and talk about this more since I'm just seeing this article. But we do have things that can support healthy testosterone levels in the store. You can always give us a call, 704-255-6172, and we can discuss. But I will be sure to go through this article and address what I see on the next show. So thank you for the call. All right, so we are back with my girl, Dorothy Diana, and we were having a great discussion on the masculine and the feminine and feeling like we want to be in our feminine, even though we can't be in our feminine at times when it means the most, right? So.
Well, the beautiful thing about the female brain is that we have a larger corpus callosum. We actually have this feminine genius, I like to call it, where we can switch quite easily. So switching isn't really our issue. And if you think about evolutionary biology, we needed to switch. So the men were not always around, and we needed the men for protection. They're larger. They fight off the tigers, so we're not eaten. But there was a lot of sister community. That was pretty much the big structure of our lives was sister community. And so we would go gathering together. We would have to be aware of our surroundings. We would have to shift into our masculine. We'd have to kind of decide how many of this plant or this. So we have this beautiful skill to do it. The challenges were shoved into it so much of the time, and we're also very isolated, which is very unnatural. So another thing I recommend, we're talking about shifting. How do you shift from this masculine energy, which we can access and we should sometimes, and it feels good, and but to access it in appropriate amounts and be able to live most of our lives in our feminine energy, which is very doable. And right now, one area of research I love is how women are actually having abundant careers almost entirely in their feminine energy, which sounds like an oxymoron.
How is that?
Absolutely possible. Yeah, it's a lot of flow. It completely turns on its head our idea of how you get things done and which order. But that's another topic. It's very exciting.
Like, okay, yes, that's okay. Okay,
Yeah.
yes. So we'll table that because I want to.
Yeah.
We want to have a show basically on that. But go ahead.
So that's good stuff. So corpus callosum, really good. I just want to give women a lot of hope. So one great way to connect with your feminine is call a fun girlfriend on the way home. You know, if you have to text your friend, your kids, or text somebody to bring dinner or whatever you need to do, our girlfriends can get us. You call the one that's like, you know, a little crazy. She's
Yes.
funny. She's had a crazy story that day. She's a little playful. Do some gossiping. You know, maybe you'll have an agreement with her to say certain things to each other, like, tell me how amazing I am. You know, when I come home from work, you know, on the way home, I need
that's
someone to
nice.
tell me like that they love me and the beautiful things they see about me.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I walk in the door, I'm already kind of filled up. I'm not having to totally fill myself up, you know. I'm a huge fan of Post-it notes all over the house. I'm also like.
Have you been in my office? Have you seen the
Oh,
have you seen the huge
no.
Post-it notes? Okay, go ahead. But go ahead.
Well, you're a genius, so I'm not surprised.
that's
And it really works to have little notes everywhere you can find about the wonderful things about yourself, and not what you're accomplishing, but like who you are. You know, that's the more feminine energy, who we really are. And I just want to tell a real quick story about how my client and now friend shifted. So we talk a lot about this in the classes, being in our feminine and how you get there and what it feels like and how you move slower and you breathe and you stop and touch things and you notice beauty. So she was having a very busy day and she had to stop at Whole Foods to get groceries on the way home. Just another task. Oh my goodness, running late. And she paused in her car and intentionally went into her feminine using a few cues and tips we've talked about. And she walked slowly into Whole Foods and had a smile on her face and felt it, wasn't pretending, really embodied it. And she had a man buy flowers and follow her around the store. This sounds creepy. It wasn't. It was lovely. And stop and say, I'm so sorry to interrupt you. I'm just so drawn to you. You're so beautiful and your smile is so radiant. And I bought these for you and I hope you're not offended. And here's a note. It has my number. If you never call me, it's okay. You deserve these anyway. And she was jaw drop. It had never happened in her life. And
wow,
this is real. This is actually how all of a sudden when you go into your feminine, you really embody it. It magnetizes abundance. It magnetizes support. It magnetizes love. It's very miraculous. It's real.
Yeah, we need to write down those tips and tricks. You know, we've got calling a fun friend. We've got listening to brain candy. I like that. I like that. So whatever that brain candy be,
Yeah.
right? Whatever. We've got just breathing, slowing down.
Really slowing down is important, and creating environments in all your places you go. Your car and your home should be beautiful to you. I'm a huge advocate of a separate man space and a separate woman space. So a feminine space that's just your own. This saves marriages. This saves lives.
Saves lives. Yeah.
When you walk in, here's the rules of my feminine space.
Bill, we're trying to save your life.
And men need it too. Men have to have a transition time, and when women understand this, when they don't understand it, it's very bad for the relationship. And when they do understand it, it's so healing. And women need sacred spaces that are beautiful and that stay the way they like it, so they can have a nest, a very aesthetically pleasing area that is their own.
I want to go back to something that you and I were having a great conversation the other night. Just wonderful. You mentioned non-spoken responsibilities. Do you remember just things that it's kind of like an unspoken agreement, I guess, that you would have being someone's masculine, you're feminine. The responsibilities, what does that look like? Is it one is more receptive? Are you saying, okay, I am agreeing to be more receptive in this environment, and you are being more active? Or tell me, like, do you recall when
No, we talked so long.
I
and
know
it was such a good
I know
we
it was
jumped
great conversation.
topics.
I know
We should have recorded it.
I know. I wrote it down, and I'm like, oh, I got to get back to her about the non-spoken responsibilities when we're talking about feminine and masculine.
Well, when you decide intentionally, and I do believe communication is hugely important before entering a relationship, and also being aware, being intentional, knowing if you're truly happy in your feminine energy and you get to play in that field. And then when you enter a relationship, knowing what that brings out of a man. When you truly can stay there, what actually happens for him. We're talking about high quality men. I want to make sure we know that. What happens with lesser quality men is different, and they will filter themselves out if you are in your feminine. I promise, promise, promise. They won't even be in your field. They will go away because they do not want to step up to what. But a high quality man, absolutely. He's fed by knowing that a feminine woman needs him. And I don't mean needs him for every tiny thing. Obviously, we meet our own needs as happiness and social life, and there's a lot of ways. But there are some ways where only a man can meet our needs. And when we're aware of that and we're very authentic and vulnerable, a high quality man will absolutely step in and want to shoulder burdens. So when you enter a relationship and you know that you are happy in your feminine and you want that amazing chemistry with that, man with a strong chest that goes out in the world and conquers the world and then comes home, and you get to be a soft place for him to just relax from the pressures of the world, and you get to be his peace, right? Which means you have to be your own peace first. So that's a whole other thing. But, we're getting there, right?
Yes, right.
There are unspoken rules. There are unspoken roles, and there are also violations. And to be aware of which we all will absolutely violate. We're human. We're not perfect. And most of us had very bad role models, not all of us. So when we do violate and overstep our sort of framework that we're in to keep this polarity and chemistry, that we acknowledge it. And one beautiful thing to say to a masculine man is, when you have a time set together to talk, because most masculine men don't want you to just grab them for a long convo, right and left, but set aside time and to say, hey, when this happened, I was kind of feeling scared, and I feel like I might have disrespected you. Did you feel that? What was that like for you? Simple. I would say most men go through their whole lives never having someone ask them if they felt respected or disrespected, and we do a lot of that to men. I don't even know if I answered your question. I feel like we could talk about this all day, but there are definitely.
No, you did, because I was, the things that when you have that polarity, as we've been talking about, so you're in your space, Bill.
Oh no.
All right, guys, we will be back on the other side of the break.
40s for our Saturday. Much better, though, with sunshine and mid-50s to round out the weekend on Sunday. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Merlefest is back, April 25th through the 28th at Wilkes Community College, featuring nearly 100 performers, including Old Crow Medicine Show, Turnpike Troubadours, the Teskey Brothers, Nickel Creek, and more. Tickets and information at merlefest.org. Listen each morning to Good Morning LKN for your chance to win tickets. Downtown Mooresville's Shamrocks and Shenanigans is on its way. St. Patty's Day is right around the corner. The festival is happening in downtown Mooresville. Attendance is free, but there are ticket packages available for purchase. Irish dancers, pipe bands, food and drinks. March 16th, downtown Mooresville. Shamrocks and Shenanigans is on its way. For more info, visit downtownmooresville.com. Want to attend the Charlotte Home and Remodeling Show? Throughout the day, you have your chance to win tickets. Listen to Good Morning LKN, the Home Ad Show, the News Drive at 5, and the Scoreboard. Each gives you your chance to win. The Charlotte Home and Remodeling Show, February 23rd through the 25th. Want to see a Tyrannosaurus Rex? How about a Triceratops? Dinosaur World Live is coming to Kane Center for the Arts Friday, March 29th. That's not the only fun family adventure coming to Kane Center for the Arts. Dinosaur World Live, Friday, March 29th. For tickets and to see the entire spring lineup, visit canearts.org. That's CAINarts.org. Have an event you would like to tell people about? Yard sales, estate sales, and everything in between? Visit WSICnews.com and click on events to submit your event today.
Now more of the L Show with Dr. Nicole Eastman from Rose Pharmacy on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
Welcome, welcome. We are back with the L Show. I'm your host, Dr. Nicole Eastman. If you or your healthcare provider has been looking for a quality compounding pharmacy in the Lake Norman area, look no more. Rose Pharmacy is the place for you, where quality shows in every aspect of what we do. Too many medications, supplements, or both? Make sure that you take advantage of our consultation services where we can help you safely solve that issue. And it's the month of love. Why not support it by coming in and grabbing a bottle of our very popular supplement that we have at Rose Pharmacy called Libido Health. This is a supplement that is for both men and women and is designed to address those factors that may contribute to sexual dysfunction, such as energy level, your hormone balance, circulation, and nervous system function. And all of these are needed to help potentiate your sexual response. Call or come in to the store and let us know that you heard about Libido Health on WSIC News, and we're going to give you 10% off through the remainder of the month. And of course, with Rose, there is a guarantee of what is in each and every bottle. Very few companies can offer you that. And feel free to call into the studio while we're here at 844-STUDIO-4, or you can interact with us on social media. So we are back with my girl, Dorothy Diana. We were having a great conversation. But Dorothy, this is our last segment, and I want to make sure that we get some time in to talk about your series. Okay? So tell us about your series. So all the things Dorothy is, everybody can hear, Dorothy is just amazing. Her energy is amazing. Women, she is talking about the series. I am signing up, but I want you to go through it. Tell us what it's about. All that good stuff.
I'm so excited that you're signing up. You're going to fit right in. So what I teach is I teach sensual movement, and it's embodied sensual movement. So we get into our bodies and we turn off our brains. Much harder to do than it sounds. and I do this, it takes a little while, but it's very fun. And it's kind of like a round, curvy, slow yoga at first. I demonstrate everything. We don't have any mirrors. The lights are very low. Everyone looks beautiful. We're in a circle. And we really create a lot of connection first and a lot of trust with each other because it gets pretty vulnerable. And essentially, if you were to just look at the class on the surface and have someone do the movements once they learn them, it would really look like a very slow exotic dance, a very slow maybe a exotic dancer who took something, I don't know, but it's very slow. And the reason it's slow, we do that intentional. It's very embodied. It's very intuitive. And when you slow down, you get to feel your body. And we hardly ever do that. And the feminine is slow. The feminine's never rushed or hurried. So we create a lot of connection and trust. I teach your body a new language of movement that she actually intuitively will understand very quickly, because you're born in a feminine body. It's going to be like, oh, that's what it feels like to push my hip as far as she can go in this direction. This is what it feels like to inhale and let my chest move me forward when I walk and be able to feel my feet touch the ground. This is what it feels like to go so slow and to pause whenever I want to. This is very permissive practice. And once you've been coming a while, which is why I do the series, by the end of the series, you start to become a little of your own dancing creature. You begin to discover your own kind of flavor, we call it erotic creatures, the secret part of you that lives inside that doesn't get to see the light of day very much. And we begin to foster that. And she gets to express herself through music, through emotion, and it's incredibly beautiful. So no woman ever looks the same because nothing is choreographed. I teach the language of movement to your body, and then I begin to slowly pull back in a very safe way and encourage you to begin to express on your own. And before you know it, you're doing your own amazing sensual free dance in this view of your sisters with their love and support, telling stories sometimes with your movement. There's a lot of tears sometimes. There's a lot of laughter, a lot of excitement, a lot of cheering, a lot of giggles. It gets very fun. But the reason I do a series is because it takes a while for most of us to get from that first class, deer in headlights, to the last class, where you would not believe. We have a wide variety. We're many very Christian women, many career women, many holistic healers, and across the board, by the end of the class, they're pretty unleashed and pretty delighted with themselves, pretty excited, pretty sexy, pretty turned on, full of feminine energy.
Well, so you talk about feeling safe.
Yeah.
That process, again, we had this conversation the other night when we were talking about how do you get to a place when you're with women to where you can be genuine, you can be vulnerable. So how do you foster that? Because that has to just be there in order for you to get to that end point where you are this different, you are untethered, I guess, right?
So it used to be when I opened the class up, one or two women would drop off after the first class. If you're not ready, you're not ready. It's asking a lot. To the point now, most of it's word of mouth. I do an introductory call for at least 15 minutes before. I prefer to do that just to check in with her. Is this right for you? Do you really know what we're doing? I do a lot of videos on my website, a lot of posts on social media so women know what they're getting into, because not everyone is ready for it. The women who show up are so ready. I mean, they're hungry for this. And we foster safety and vulnerability by not having the mirrors and by doing a lot of supportive language for each other. It actually happens very quickly and very naturally. I've never had. Some women have walls up, and what part of this healing process is learning how to work with the different energies in the room. We do something called energy play at one point, because when you go out in life, some people have walls up. And how do you retain your own safety, vulnerability, and openness and beauty in the space of somebody whose energy is very different than yours and might have walls up, might be reactive towards you? So we don't allow anything. We have a lot of boundaries, healthy boundaries, which is also important for the feminine in the classroom. But rarely have I had to enforce them. Being in the presence of supportive women crumbles a lot of walls. And that's hard to even know because how often does it happen in our lives? Very rarely.
Very rarely.
I really have never had a. It creates its own safe space that's so palpable. It's mind blowing. Yeah.
How long is the series?
So it's 8 weeks. It evolved. I used to do it differently, but so many of my women now are professional. They travel. Some of them hold retreats. I mean, these women are amazing. They're doing everything. And a lot of them are moms of multiple kids. Some are homeschooling. So what I found works best is what I'm doing this series. It's 8 weeks. Every other Sunday is in person. And the alternate Sundays are on Zoom, where we review the week before what we did. We reconnect. So if you had to miss one of them, you don't lose the content. And anybody who comes to all of them will have a lot of review and really, really be integrating the information very solidly for the next series to move on. So it's 4 weeks of in-person, 4 weeks of Zoom alternating on Sunday at 5.
Okay, so you suggest, of course you suggest, because you can't go to the next series without doing, so there's like, that's the beginners, I guess is what we call it.
We're starting a very beginner series, yeah.
How much physical, like the physicality of it, because there's a poll.
There is.
Right?
Yeah.
Talk about the physicality of it, because I'm thinking about, that's hard. Like,
it is
I
hard.
took a class a long time ago, and it's a lot of physical strength.
So I've had all shapes and sizes and all ages, and I love it. The only barrier you're going to have is your own barriers. So almost every movement can be modified. I can teach it in a chair, somebody who cannot even be on the floor. The pole is so optional. I don't even talk about it these days. I consider the pole a place when the feminine energy is so high, so she's so full of energy and excitement about her own body, she has to do something with it. And moving around the floor isn't enough. And the pole requires so much core, so much arms. So little by little, I get your strength up for that. It's a slow process. And before you know it, you can't believe what you can do on the pole. But the entire practice can be done off the pole. Because the emphasis is on embodiment and being slow and following your breath, really, anybody can do it. And it's really hard to, I have women that barely move when they do free dance. So later on in more advanced classes, there's a full on free dancing. And you'll have women that go sit in a chair almost the whole time, and that's their free dance. And they're just sort of moving on the chair because they feel called to. Embodiment is a creature into itself when it's truly happening, intuitive movement.
Okay, so the website is www.yoniyun.
YONIYUN.com.
Okay.
Which means something to me, but I've been told lately I might need to rebrand. So YONIYUN. It's actually the Sanskrit word for the female genitalia, and yun is rhythm. And my Facebook is Dorothy Diana, and a lot of women connect with me on my Facebook, and it seems to work beautifully.
Okay, so you've heard it. You can go on her website, yoniyun.com, and sign up for the class. March the 3rd is the next start,
series,
right?
Yeah.
Is the next series
coming up.
So yes, guys, please do. Dorothy, I thank you so much for being here
you.
today. Guys, if you or your healthcare provider has been looking for a quality compounding pharmacy in the Lake Norman area, look no more. Rose Pharmacy is the place for you. Quality shows in every aspect of what we do. If you're taking too many medications, supplements, or both, make sure that you take advantage of our consultation services. We can help you safely solve that issue. And it's still the month of love. Why not support it by coming in and grabbing a bottle of a very popular supplement that we have at Rose Pharmacy called Libido Health. This is a supplement that is for both men and women and is designed to address those factors that may contribute to sexual dysfunction, such as energy levels, hormone balance, circulation, and nervous system function. All of these are needed to help potentiate your sexual response. So call or come into the store. Let us know that you heard about this Libido Health supplement on WSIC News, and we will give you 10% off throughout the remainder of the month. And of course, with Rose, there's a guarantee of what is in each and every bottle. Very few companies can offer you that. And I want to thank everyone who tuned into this week's segment of the Elle Show, and to our guest, Dorothy Diana. I'm your host, Dr. Nicole Eastman, pharmacist and owner of Rose Pharmacy and Boutique Apothecary here in Cornelius. For those of you who missed any part of this show or any of our previous shows, you can find them on WSIC News. You can watch by following them on Facebook. Ladies, block off that 3 to 4 p.m. time slot every Friday for the Elle Show, because I want this to be our happy hour. See you next week. Have a great weekend. Bye, guys.
Serving you better than ever before. 105.9, 100.7, WSIC, Statesville, Morrisville, North Charlotte.